really, as an independent school district, wants you to go because college admissions are higher, grades are higher, test scores are better, which means more money for that school district, which means more support and ultimately higher wages, better bonuses, things like that. So there is an incentive financially for these school districts, particularly high schools, to do some things that are unethical in people's life plans in order to get you to go to college. High school prepares you that much for college as it is today. And what happens holistically is that we have students that have these very narrow points of view. It's interesting because, in more urban or lower income areas, we have lower college admission rates, right? But we have more people that are out of debt in those regions. We have more people that are investing their time into trades, blue collar work, getting into career field that doesn't require a degree. They find a way. The thing that college does is it gives people an excuse to not make a plan. What they've done is they've become sheep. They're following what everybody else did because it worked for them.
Where have you been? This is going to be such a good episode. There's so much there that I want to unpack. So it sounds like, too, the reason it feels like you feel strongly about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because it burnt a couple years of your life. And it's not like you're old. You're 22. So you're very young. But what's interesting about that is the reason you feel so strongly about this, how close you are in proximity to this just happening to you, and then how you've been able to find success without that.
I think the aggravation for me comes from the people that got me here are able to continually do it, but also the people that got me here think they're right. We have a community of individuals that surround us and are the people that formed us to be where we're at today. Be that your teachers, your parents, your siblings, your mentors, your loved ones, whatever. They're the ones that encouraged you, get the degree, finish that out, go this path because it's the best plan to get you to success. They want to think they're right. And until a person like yourself or myself comes around, they're like, yeah, but they're unicorns. It's just not the truth. And also, you talk about proximity. Yeah, it is like you lose time. If I was 18 coming fresh out of high school, I can tell you a million ways to Sunday that I would have changed my life. And one of those things is never, ever touching a college game.
Okay, so what would you have done instead? Let's roll back the clock then. Let's roll it back to 18. And just to recap for the audience, you are a real estate financial analyst for a Fortune 500 company. You're degree free. If you could roll back the clock and not have to spend any time on a college campus, what would you have done? What would you have learned instead to get you where you are now without ever touching a college campus?
Your number one objective as a young person, and this is what I tell anybody I meet that's 16, 17, 18 years old, this is what I tell them. Don't go into debt. Learn as much as you can. You might not make all that much money. And that's fine. Because what happens is you realize when I'm a candidate for a job and you're compared up against these bachelor's, master's degrees, what is weighed isn't the piece of paper anymore. It's how much experience you have on a resume, what you bring to the table. Because quite frankly, most companies look at a degree and go, okay, I know a guy with a degree in rec sciences who works with a previous employer who's a property manager. He's told me, I make great money in this field, and I never needed this degree in the first place.
Obviously, you're living proof of this too. You and I both are proof of this. That's changing really rapidly. I was just on another podcast, and the host, who's from a different generation than us, who was very open to the message, said, well, you still need a degree to get good jobs. And I didn't interrupt her. She was finishing a thought. It was one of those things too, where the recent numbers that have come out about this are that ZipRecruiter found that 9% of the jobs on their site, and ZipRecruiter is a top job board in the US right now, it's 9% even say they require a college degree. I'm sure that the job that you applied for probably had a bachelor's degree requirement in it just because of the type of job it was. So did my initial tech job and every subsequent job that I have had since then. And so you and I both know from experience that of those 9%, even less than that actually require college degrees. Because require is a legal term, and those are not requirements, those are requests.